Greetings. Today we're going to talk about the elders of the Algolian tribes of Djinn. The elders have to do with the perfected working of Algolian magic. The first thing to understand is the Book of Dream name is divided into three different phases, and that is desire, belief, and will. This becomes important when you look at what Sigil Magic is. Sigil Magic, Eospares describes a sigil as a monogram of thought for the control of energy. And Al-Shakroli describes magic as the art and science of creating change in conformity with your will. So therefore, Sigil Magic is a monogram of thought for the controlling of the energy of change. So the first important thing for magic, Sigil Magic, Algolian magic, is the desire for change. Without no desire for change, there is no reason to do the magic. So that's why desire comes first, because without desire, you're good. You don't need to do the magic. So first, there's something in your life you desire to change. And so desire is the cardinal energy. This is that first spark and the most pure form, unadulterated form of the desire to change. Next, belief. Belief is related to the mutable planets, the mutable energy, that changeable energy, that in-between energy. Now, in both chaos magic and Luciferian magic, belief is seen as a tool to shape and define your magic. It is a structure, it's a form you build it on. It is something that for that moment you must believe that the magic is going to work. It's not this rigid, always this is what I am, this is reality, this is what I believe. It's a tool used to shape and transform your magic, to give it a structure. So the next part is that ability to take the desire for change, and you take this raw energy and then you give it a structure. You give this changeable structure, you give this form that it's going to use to create this change in your life. Finally, the final phase of it is will. Now, will is fixed energy. That is, I'm resolved, is my will to make this change happen, to create this change. It is my will. So the final phase is going to be will. Now, within the cards, the Book of Dream names, this is represented, desire is represented with the triangle, and that's that black flame, that energy rising up, that flame energy. Belief is represented with a square, and that within the square is what I believe right now, at least. And then finally, the strength of a house, the pentagon, is given to will. Now, that's one part of the complete complete Algolian working. The other part is the alchemical process. Now, in alchemy, you have your three principles, which is sulfur, mercury, and salt. Now, sulfur is the beginning of the working that breaks down old forms, old patterns, and it releases the energy bound up into that old form or old pattern. That energy is then transformed by mercury. Mercury is that changing part that transforms it and goes between the phases. That's where everything that is released and broken apart in the first phase of alchemy, the sulfur, is then changed and reformed into something new. This is, in a sense, of chaos magic. Sulfur is when you have a magic do and you go out and you collect all these little bits, these old rituals, and you form from all these old rituals, you find what works. Chaos magic is all about finding the right tool for the job you have to do and using what works. You find the underlying formula. Why did this ritual work? Why do they do these spells? You take that technique, you take that underlying formula, and you break it apart, and you say, okay, let's take off the structure that I don't necessarily believe in, and let's give it a new structure. Let's pack it into this new belief form, this new paradigm. But these are the techniques that work. So Mercury is taking those little pieces you grab from here and there and forming it into a new form. It's the synthesis of all this gnosis that you collect. And finally, Salt. Salt is the final phase, and that is the solidification, this crystallization. That is when the new thing takes form. When it's broken apart, transmuted, and it takes a new form. Salt is that final structure. That is the manifestation. That is once you've gone out, you've studied all these different rituals, you found the rituals you like, you formed it into your new ritual, and then you perform it. You do it. You do the thing. You make it happen. That's what salt is. In the cards and in general, alchemically speaking, this is the alchemical sulfur. This is the alchemical mercury. And finally, we have the alchemical salt. So, there are 8 tribes within the Book of Dream Names. Each one is one of the different types of magic, the 8 types of magic. And each one has a color, and this are the tribes of the Djinn, and each one has a planetary energy. So there are 9 of each planetary energy. The 3 alchemical parts in the 3 phases. So you have the sulfur, mercury, and salt of desire. You have the sulfur, mercury, and salt of belief. You have the sulfur, mercury, salt of will. So the perfect balance working, which becomes the elders of the tribe, takes one from each. It takes desire, but from desire, it takes the sulfur. This is the beginning of both. Sulfur is the beginning phase of the alchemical working. It is the beginning phase of the magical chaos working. This is desire and sulfur. So next, we move to mercury and belief. And finally, we take the salt of will. Now, this is done for all 8 tribes. Right now, we're looking at the red tribe because in our reading for this 6 months, that's what we were told we need to work on. We need to focus on that energy and bring a balance by focusing on war, red energy, which is the perfection of self, building that island, fortifying it, building up yourself, focusing on what am I doing to make my health perfect? What am I doing to fortify my family, my tribe? How am I finding devotion to that which is within myself? So, the elder of the red tribe Mido. So Mido. Remember, I told you before, if you have a name that may seem a little weird to pronounce, there's a way of adding an extra letter depending on where it is. And since the last letter will, and it's a consonant, then we'll add the final vowel of O. Mido. It could be made, but Mido, it seems most appropriate at this point. So Mido is going to be our elder. So the elders can be used to call upon to find perfect balance in that working. So like right now, I'm trying to focus on working on the red energy. I could call on Mido to do that. Now this is done for every single one of the tribes. Every tribe has these 9 cards in it. Every tribe will have this name, which is the elder. This is the part that can be used to call upon in different rituals to perfect that area, which there are certain rituals that are done with the Book of Dream Names. There are certain aspects of different callings you can do. I'll cover later. Right now, it's just how we come about finding the elders. And the importance of the Algolian working. The Algolian working, and these are called the tribes of the desert of Algol, because it came to me as part of my workings with Ordu Algol, when I was trying to formulate this deck, and this is part of the underlying mythos came to me from this working. The Book of Dream names come from the abyss, the common collective dream, the conscious, the collective subconscious, and this is the dream, the desert of dream, the Algolian desert of the abyss, where these Djinn spoke to me and said, "Hey, this is how you can use this." We'll get more into that later, but for now, if you have any questions, if you'd like to know any more about how this work works, or if you have any general questions about the Book of Dream names, just let me know below. Put a comment below. Like, share this, subscribe, so you'll see new stuff coming out from me. As I said, I plan on doing a regular description of the different aspects of it, plus probably a weekly card drawing where I'll draw one card and I'll go in depth on that one card and the meanings of that one card. All right, that's all for me today, and this is a little bit about the elders of the Djinn of the Algolian desert. Journey well out there, my friends. Journey well.